Hello again, horror addicts. I'm Kristin Battestella, aka Kbatz, and I'm not sure if I had introduced myself at some point or not here. As I said in some of my previous videos, I'm doing a sort of Dark Shadows redo of my basement. It started as Dark Shadows, then it was a guest room. Now it's supposed to be all my sort of craft studio and workspace, and it includes going up a lot of stairs to bring a lot of things down here, and I'm in sort of the next phase of bringing in some of the seating in this room. And my fun ottomans are here. I've got an assortment of pillows. Um, Perhaps I should show you the chair instead of sitting in the chair, right? That makes sense, doesn't it, Kbatz? This chair, actually, I'll move the pillows for a minute to show you. Um, this was $15 from Habitat for Humanity. And I love this yellow, delicious, tacky kind of gold material, velvety kind of. And although when I was younger, my parents' house was the sort of Spanish Gothic. At some point, there was wicker. I don't really like wicker at all. And usually this kind of cane or kind of rattan kind of chair is usually broken. Sometimes these are the kind of things you see curbside free or they're damaged, and really there's, unless you know some sort of expert or have the money to spend, it's very difficult to repair these kind of chairs. So there's a few perhaps delicate spots here, but this is basically intact, and that makes it really beautiful. And this was in my little craft video studio, so because I'm short, I made some cushions to cover, not so much cover it, but to make it a little taller to sit in. And inside these pillows are cushions I think someone gave me that they didn't want because they were, I don't know, that weird blue country kind of plaid, kind of come on. So I have pillows. I love having pillows and options. So I've got cute pillows to throw around and a nice little spot for my chair. And, you know, the chair is light enough where I can move it out of the way. The pumpkin cat house that the cat does not like is back here if he wants it. I have my ottomans that can come up here to be a great little footrest, and I can still open my cabinet. And I love all that. I love having mobility and options. And when you come down the stairs, you see the storage and this, and it's sort of very inviting. You know, it's all of a sudden, again, it's not a basement. It's a, ooh, what room is this? You have more rooms to come explore, and there's a nice little place to sit. That was the only thing that my husband wanted in this room, seating, someplace to sit. And, well, okay, maybe it's tough to sit when I've got the pillows up on it. But now he has his wish, a place to sit. The lamps, you can see, there's a sticker on one still that says $25. I'll pull it up close for you to see. $25. I did not pay $25. I think I paid $15 a piece. They were on sale. And what I really, really love, of course, is the little candle and light, or candle and light together kind of thing, which is really awesome. Of course, these are big chunky retro things. I don't know that you ever actually saw these on camera before. Right now, I'm kind of sort of on camera, kind of sort of not. So these are big, heavy lamps. And underneath here, this is just a dollar store tablecloth. And under here is one of those tables that's, I paid $3 at Goodwill, but it's one of those little tables that you just put the legs together, and it is kind of a composite table, and it's meant to have the table skirt over top of it. And again, it was initially, I thought it'd just be a nice end table when this was going to be a guest room, but now it's mine and I'm using it. And you may notice, however, these lovely plain white shades. $4 a piece for these shades. The lamps came, there we go, now you can see me. The lamps came without shades, and I looked and looked around for you know, the real barrel vintage kind of shade. And it was not there. And I see a bug. Hold on, I see a bug. Bug! These were my goofy lampshades, as I was saying. Um, Vintage barrel shades are tough to come by anyway. They're expensive when you do find them, and I needed shades of a certain big, big size to them, and I needed two that matched, you know, preferably. And but even finding one is difficult, much less two. And I found these obviously modern kind of shades, and I'm gonna have to doctor these up. I've had them for a while actually, and there aren't any finials on these lamps either. And that's actually because, you know, I've had light bulbs in them. I've used the lamps, but sometimes when I just want really bright light, I actually just take the shades off of the lamps. So I'm not worried about replacing the finials. And I am going to glam these shades up a little bit. Hopefully I'll be showing that to you soon. Where you can actually paint shades. It's actually not that difficult. And I thought about doing these, that nice kind of yellow kind of glow here. But as I said, I want them for, even down here where I have the vampire fluorescent light, I do still intend to use these for kind of immediate kind of task lighting in my workspace. So I don't want to do anything to darken the shade. I do have a couple nice black shades upstairs on some lamps, and they're really just for some mood lighting, because you really don't get any light with them. So as much as it is like, ooh, let's choose the lampshade because it's a cool shape or it's the cool spooky color, sometimes you also have to think of the lampshade for practicality reasons. And I had a velvet golden kind of ribbon that I found in a thrift at the thrift store in like some kind of grab bag of pieces, and I thought that that kind of chunky kind of velvet ribbon, and vintage as well, would fit as going here around here as a border, but I didn't really have enough of it, and I didn't, again, I wanted both shades to match. So I have another smaller ribbon that I'm going to do here, and add some fringe. It should be quite exciting and crazy. And it's another thing that I have to get to once I move everything in here and get back to doing some Kbatz crafts. We shall see. You can kind of see that I also have my big giant chair here as well. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't see it. This actually, it's not necessarily heavy, but it has the nice kind of wingback kind of shape at the top, and a kind of nice roll kind of arm that kind of sticks out. So it didn't quite fit through the door space and down one set of stairs and through another door space and down the basement stairs. So it took a little awkward fudging and angles and everything to get it down here, you know, without, you know, damage. And we can you can see the difference, I think, in the colors of oranges about my rooms here. This fabric, I think, was just clearance with only a few yards were left on the bolt, and maybe it's a little kind of peach kind of like, but it's slightly kind of orange. And this chair is a little faded. I think I paid, oh my gosh, now I forget how much I paid. $50 for this. Actually at the same Habitat for Humanity store, I got this chair, these lamps, and this chair, all at different times. And maybe at one point it might have been a really dark kind of pure orange, but it's a little faded now, and that's okay. I think some folks have kind of asked why I have orange chairs. And again, this being a dark shadows room, initially that I thought I wanted a green settee, but as I said before, when I changed out that idea of not needing a green sofa for some kind of guest kind of convertible kind of bedding, then it became, oh, well, okay, this is going to be my room, and my chairs can come down here. And then all of a sudden, maybe it's not really Dark Shadow's room anymore if it's orange chairs, not their kind of, real kind of iconic kind of green couch. But I actually had my parents' house. We had a orange, sort of like a gondola sofa, one of those old-fashioned sofas for many, many years. It was a great sofa. And next to it, we had a big orange Hollywood Regency chair. And I sat in that chair literally until the stuffing fell out. And it was a good thing that I sewed because I tried to fix it 2 or 3 times before my parents just finally said, no, it's time for the furniture to go. It's time for the furniture to go. And I loved that chair. And, when I was doing my room upstairs, I had my goofy man with the gold helmet picture that was in my parents' house, and I knew I wanted an orange chair to match. So that's probably my next step, is getting all of my pictures and sconces and things back on the wall. This was a thrift find. Unfortunately, when I found curtains, I've only found one at a time. So this is a different rust-colored kind of panel that I had hanging on one window. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use these as sort of fabric columns somewhere in the room or not. It's like I'm already thinking about it now, when that kind of fashion trimming is maybe the last thing to do. I'm not sure. But this one is really great, and it's really long. It's like the 100-something length. And this is like the true kind of orange velvet that I remember from back in the day. And I found this one, both of these I think came from the Salvation Army thrift store. And I saw this and I got this and I called my mother and I said, hey Mom, remember those really heavy orange velvet drapes that used to hang in our living room? Do you still have those? And she's like, Kristin Lee, the old orange drapes that I had 40 years ago that were 20 years old then? She's like, no, of course I don't have them. I threw them away. And I was like, darn. Darn, I need old ratty things to go in my buggy and spidery basement. Damn it. No. So, this one I think might be really dramatic. If I just have just a small column of it gathered here behind my chair, because my workspace will go here on the other side of the chair. But I don't know if I always want to look at that space, or if I want to have some kind of fabric framing it, or to be able to have fabric panels move across. I'm not sure. So, but again, as I said, I think that's the last thing that I need to do. Maybe, maybe not. I really just want to sit back in my chair and relax, because it's so awesome. My little chair right here, not with my giant lamp in it, obviously, but with my ottomans. I can put my feet up, I can sit by the fireplace right here, and it's just a nice cozy little space. Let me put that guy aside. There we go. I do have a table right here, maybe, that you can't see right now. It's just a small table that I can move around. I got it for $8, I think, at Goodwill. And I had it in my room, and I was using it for, again, different staging or setting things up. So, again, I love that this area. Sometimes I feel like maybe is it overpacked, but when I don't have my video stand here to do filming, the sort of walk through is clear. So I was kind of worried that maybe people wouldn't be able to come down here and have a place to kind of walk around, that it would just be too cluttered, and that's okay for me. And I don't really expect to have people visiting me here down in my basement anyway. It's mine. But again, I love like movability. You know, I have options. You know, and actually, when I brought the chairs down, briefly, I kind of thought, you know, maybe this chair should be over there, and that one should be here. Um, Mainly because again, I didn't know if I wanted to block off my work zone kind of area or not, and I thought I could have the wingback chair blocking my main table, but it was also taking away the light from the fluorescent light. So I thought, should the chair here, the rattan chair with the lower profile, actually be there? But once I rearranged it and I put this in the corner, and I did not put the table behind it, sort of like I have over here, then it made enough space where, you know, if I want this little table to be in the center as a coffee table, kind of like it can be, you know, or I can have either of my pumpkin ottomans up here to go with both chairs or just one chair. Um, or, you know, as a third seat, and people could still have their feet up, you know, so I could be sitting here having a really nice time, you know, beside the fire. So, which again, that was the one purpose that my husband wanted, right? He said, there's no place to sit, and you should get a heater. And I have done so. I have done so. I've just, you know, took the spooky long way around. But now I have to go back upstairs and bring down the biggest pieces of furniture yet. The shadow box is not necessarily heavy. That's the kind of long ways kind of table that I've used. Um, but because it's long wise, again, I wonder about maybe turning some of the corners. And the roll top desk, of course, is heavy. That I think is going to be the most difficult thing to bring down here. So, um, and I keep doing this in phases because I still have other things to do. I was trying to get some other crafts done. I still have sewing I have to get done. I have the lampshades that I need to do. So I've been in between crafts, doing things upstairs, doing things downstairs, plus still trying to get, you know, all my regular articles and write-ups for heartaddicts.net done. So in the middle of sometimes just craziness where, you know, sometimes, you know, it's upsetting reading the news, and I will be running up and down these stairs carrying stuff, and sometimes I just get wiped out and just want to do nothing but sleep. So, and then I get upset because I feel like I lost a lot of time that I should get a move on. um, so it's moving along, I think, little by little. I feel like I do a lot and then I stop because there's just so many little things that kind of all still equal kind of one big project. So, SEW, right? Once I get back to sewing. But I can't sew until I actually have the table down here to do it. So, I need to get going. When it's hot and things are heavy, it's difficult to stay motivated. But getting there, I think. I hope. I get more excited sometimes, though, when you see things come together that, you know, that does look really cute and spooky. And it's going to look even better once I've got a really cool lampshade. Right? Right? I hope so. We'll see. The things that I really love about this area is basically here when you come down at the bottom of the steps, you're just kind of really invited in, unless, well, maybe the creepy lenticular photos kind of scare you off, or the little spider and the creepy clutches and the spider topiaries, which I have a write-up for that depending on the timing here of the videos, and at horroraddicts.net. I will have a write-up about those little spooky topiaries soon. But I love that it's kind of a really inviting area. You come down the stairs and you're like, what's this? Like, here's a whole other little seating area. How nice. I really love that because I have the tombstones sort of blocking down the stairwell, you can't see what's on this side of the room till you get to the bottom of the stairs. So it's very much I feel very kind of inviting where you want to turn the corner and see kind of how far back like this room is. What else is happening here? So, again, as I said, there's my one little spooky chair and my ottomans, my pumpkins, my pumpkin cat house, really. The cat was roaming around here somewhere, but who cares? um, I love being able to move the ottomans as I want or need, and I can still access, everything on the shelves. I can still open my cabinet kind of as needed. And, again, I'll have wall artwork. That's really the last thing, textiles and artwork that comes. And I have to, still haven't done my lampshades yet, of course. And there's my cool chair. And here's my other little thrift table that, I will probably, like my lamp there, I will have on my desk that's going to go behind here. You can kind of see the rest of my craft, all my craft kind of mess. So my desk will go sort of lengthwise into the room, and my lamp will be on there. And I may put, one of these, have a cute little vignette there on the corner of my desk with my candelabra or my flowers or something. But again, I like that the room has zones. You don't really notice that this is a separate storage area, or that this is just a seating area, or that that's a workstation, because everything kind of seems like it's starting to flow together. So I think it's coming together. I think the brown is kind of both warm enough that it unifies everything. Ooh, sometimes the brown shows up on the camera, sometimes the fluorescent light interferes. Sorry about that. But I love that there's just, red and orange that kind of really bring it to a pop. But the brown and the dark kind of wood, or the any kind of black accents, they really kind of remain kind of neutral. So I was worried that maybe it would look a little too busy, but again, I think that's okay. I feel like maybe that is maybe a little more Victorian perhaps than Dark Shadows, that there's just clutter, but that's okay. There's my totally messy space back there right now. And then here are the Tombstones. I put my gargoyle up there. But there's my little horror addicts nightstand.